Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and welcome back to another whittle down video where I take 50, 60, 70 of your images and then whittle it down to what I think would make for the best portfolio to showcase your work to the public. Because as I keep saying, you are the last line of defense between putting out shitty photos into the world or putting out the best photos. If you put out shitty photos, that's your fault. So I'm here to hopefully help you not put out shitty photos, as well as we're gonna make this kind of a critiquey McCritiquerson as well. Now stick through this one because I will tell you that the first half of the images are not very good, but then it gets better. So let's just start off right here. Let's see who the photographer is. We've got Jeff Cotavila. Jeff Cotavila sent in a bunch of images. He sent 50 of them, and I wanna whittle them down right now. And I'm gonna do my best, as Dan and Steven have asked me to do, to explain why I don't like an image and not just say no. 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 I like to say no, but I'll try to explain better. For this case, it's cropped and it's just not a good photo. It's done with a 5D Mark III, nothing wrong with that. Settings-wise, 24, yeah, but the settings are fine. It's just not a good image and it's cropped. Why is it not good? Well, one, it's not focused on the guy that needs to be in focus. It's not even, whatever. It's just not a good image. That's the best explanation, Dan and Steven, I can give. Sometimes that's just the case. This isn't bad, but it's not really a tremendous, great image. What I would do here was I would actually get centered to this pavilion thing. I would move over to the center, put her on the third part of the frame, but because they're not over on that angle, it throws everything off just a little bit. You want to get straight, I think, with these lines right here and move over. So I'm not picking that image. And we're also going to try and find a theme here because he sent in sports images and some images that look like this. And then I think that this is going to end up being a sports photojournalistic type thing. We've got an M50 mirrorless camera, 1/250th of a second at f8. Outside, yeah, that's overkill. We don't need to be at f8, ISO 500, but whatever. It's in focus. That's a bonus. The colors are cool. I like the truck there. Again, if we're gonna have this truck as a focus, then center the damn truck and you'll be better off. That's what I want to see. It's not a winning image. It more looks like a snapshot compared to, don't yell at me because I'm comparing it to what I know is coming later and you're gonna see. And then you'll be like, Jared, you were right. There's a difference between this and what we're gonna see a little later. This is nice for a snapshot. Fine for an Instagram. It's a snapshot of this kid. It's good in terms of 55 to 200 millimeter. What was it shot with at 55 millimeters? So it's fine. But I don't understand the crop. I don't understand this square crop, so we're not gonna do that. This is something that I personally would have shot back in the day, super tight image, and then I realized that the tight isn't good because let's just show you what's happening right here. He has a goatee, and then it looks like she does too. Now, it wouldn't if it wasn't shot as tight, or basically what's happening is the dark reflection off of the jacket, excuse me, is bouncing in underneath her chin, making it look darker. So a little wider would be much better. Now we're back into the sports. Cropped again, stop cropping your stuff. This is very difficult, I think, to shoot with the 18 to 135 on an M50, but in terms of exposure, it's the right exposure, 1/400th of a second at 5.6. You could probably bump the ISO a little higher, but the noise is gonna start to be really bad. It's actually focused here on pronghorns. That's what it says. But this guy should be in focus because he is the action. Because it's 5.6, everybody else in the background is in focus. I would not share this as a portfolio image. Same thing right here. This just isn't a portfolio-worthy image just because you cut her foot off. It's not solid. This is a girl yawning. She's yawning. That makes it not a solid image. I know. Am I being harsh? Yes. Should I be harsh? Yes, because just because. Oh, by the way, I'm asking for you guys to submit your raw files so I can be harsh on them. Not really. We're gonna do a raw edit again. We're gonna do a massive raw edit video when FroPak 2 comes out, where we're gonna edit your images. So the link is down below in the description to upload your images, up to 3 of them. Just upload up to 3 raw files. You can do them as DNGs or original raw files, but 3 of them. Please use your name underscore, like Polin underscore Jared underscore 01 through 03. That's what you need to do down below. Don't be scared, we're not gonna yell at you. This isn't terrible. It's not a portfolio worthy image, but it's trying and it's nice. Blows the background out nice. It's a little dark, over on the ball. Part of the reason I don't want to critique and go into too much detail is because this would take forever to do and I don't want to do that. This isn't terrible, but it's very difficult to shoot with that 50mm lens when you're doing basketball because that acts as like a 78mm equivalent because of the 1.6 crop factor on that camera. So if this was full body, it would be a much better image. Same thing here, too close to the game. Also the looks on the face, that's not a good look, that's not a great look, it's out of focus, and it cut his legs off. So I want to keep going. This one would be better pulled back wider. So with the wider angle lens, it would have been better. With the 15 to 45, it would have been better. Same thing, just way too wide, way too tight. So we're just gonna keep going through these because they're not portfolio worthy in my book. Yeah, I was just making sure I wasn't zoomed in on them. And this is just a snapshot of out of focusness. Yeah, that's a harsh thing. This would be better in focus, not cropped. This person in the background, she shouldn't be standing shooting. She should honestly be sitting because the angle will look much more. If you're in the distance like this girl is shooting a basketball game, there's a reason they sit along the baseline. When photographers are shooting basketball, they sit because it allows you to shoot up a little, which is going to make the players seem more immense. They're already big as is, but if you shoot from a distance, vertical, like you're standing up shooting from a distance, it's not going to look as good as if you were down low because they're going to be on the same line as you and they just don't look as impressive. When you're down lower and they're driving the hole, it's just going to look better. Like the image that's on the screen, it looks better except for cutting the foot off and stuff like that. This is the only winning shot that I see from all of these so far. Love the processing, love the fact that all of this is out of focus, and I don't know if that was, oh, it's at 1.4. So it's a 51.4 focused here. That's fantastic. That I can live with. That one, I'm gonna give a red mark. The first red mark that we're doing in this entire process. And that brings us to this right here. I do wanna remind you that FroPak 2 is coming out shortly, which means FroPak 1 will no longer be on sale. It will be back up to $50. So if you want to pick it up before FroPak 2 comes out and get it for 30 bucks, just go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets and you can do that. And here's a quick little look at FroPak 2 for all those people who are curious what's going to be in it. Not for sale yet, but look at this. Here are the 15 presets. You can see the befores and the afters real fast. These are coming shortly for sale. Boom. Now back to this. All right, let's move through this. Getting a little better, but stop with the square crop. I've seen good stuff. Okay, that's not a winner either. Look at the look on her face, it doesn't help. That's more like a block too because she's moving. I know what a block is. My dad and brother are a referee. All right, along the floor, it's action along the floor, but we could honestly make it slightly better by processing it better. Yeah, just a little better. Still not a keeper. Still not a keeper on this one. Not a keeper on that because, see, this would have been much better. Wow, look at that guy. He thinks he's falling backwards. Shoot wider, get that wider angle lens on here, and this would be a fantastic shot vertical with this guy driving the hole. A little better. For now, I'll pick it, but I do know what's coming up in just a second or two. It's just a better action shot. He's doing a crossover. He's about to go to his right and fake this guy out of his underwear, maybe. But it's still a crop of a square, and I don't understand that. That's just a snapshot of a guy outside. That's just a penguin for whatever reason. This is a person sitting underneath a pier. That's fine for their Instagram. It's not fine for a portfolio that we're trying to build right here. This again, EOS M50. It's got the tripod over there on the side, which is probably some kind of laser beam thing. Not really a great shot. Again, It's just infinite focus in the background. I'm not ripping on the fact that there's infinite focus as if it's the photographer's fault and maybe they don't have that better glass, but they did have a 51.4 that they were using, and you can see the difference when you obliterate the background, it isolates the subject, versus a higher aperture, 5.6 f8, is not going to obliterate a background. It's going to make your image look more amateurish. So if you can, get faster glass and you will see a major difference in the background, which will make your images pop more because the subjects will be isolated. Moving on, that's a little better. I like that. See, the background is blown out a little bit. M50, 124 millimeters at 5.6. At 2.8, you wouldn't see these people up on the hill. You wouldn't really see these people here. They'll just be blurs out of focus, but it works really well on this one. This is a really good shot. I like the processing. I like the tones that they came up with. So this is really the first winner. Well, second winner, just like this image right here was a winner. And now moving on to this. That's not terrible. It doesn't fit into the portfolio, but here's what I was just talking. Well, he's at 1.4. You see the difference between the background? It isolates the subject and draws you in. If this was wider, I would be happier. Wow, look at all that fringing. Holy Jesus. 51.4 fringing to the max. That is a lot of chromatic aberration. Holy Jesus. Nope, not on this one. There, I said nope, but it's more of a out of focus. Not out of focus, just not a good exposure. That super bright sky right here. 17 millimeters on a, I don't understand that. 17 millimeters on a 24 to, oh, because it's the equivalent of the other. That's a good picture. It's not gonna work in the portfolio. This is a better, super great contrast. I love that. Nice job there, but again, that's not gonna be a winner. For a concert shot, that works. And then what the hell just happened? Now you're gonna see what I was talking about earlier. From here on out, it's all like a different photographer shot it, which I hope they didn't submit somebody else's photos, because the first batch of images that I've seen, really like one or two good, well, two good images from it. Now let's take a look through. This is a freaking winner. Now we've got a Fuji X-T3. Now we've got 2.8 lenses. This is the 50 to 140, which is like the 200 to the 70 to 200 equivalent. This is a freaking winner. Beautiful shot, great isolation. Nice shot of the twirly McTwirlerson girl. What is it, a baton? She's a baton twirler, but it looks good. And look at this. This is great too. Way to use these natural the stands to draw you into the subject, which is this guy who's called the Maitre D. We're gonna call him the Maitre D. He's the leader of the pack of the band, but that's great. Love this shot. We're gonna pick that too. Okay, so we got a guy yelling. I don't really like this in the story because it doesn't really give you much of a context. I mean, I get it that it's probably a tailgate and this guy's yelling, but he looks super angry with his fist outstretched. So for now, I'm not picking this one because I don't think it works as much. So this is cool. You got this girl right here. She's smiling, waving her pom-pom. This girl's waving her pom-pom. This guy, he's carrying his, what the hell do you call that? Megaphone thing. I think the saturation and contrast may be slightly too high because I'm seeing back here on this girl, you can see some ghosting around the sides, but really nice. I picked that one too. This is a great shot also. Very good for, I mean, a horizontal would look good too, and in terms of composition, there's one change I would have made. I certainly hope this is the same photographer and they just ended up getting better. In terms of composition, this is how I would have envisioned the composition myself. Less room down at the bottom. To me, this is proper composition. I'm a big proponent of seeing the image and how that composes. I personally wouldn't crop, that's just me, but I'm not saying that you did. I'm just saying that if I was to shoot this, oh, well, you were zoomed all the way out, so there's not much you could do to make that change, but that's what I'm showing is how I would try to do it. Even if you didn't have any more zoom, I would have come up and cut it off right about here, because that's, I think, proper composition. Next, all right, so that could be a good establishing shot or a good detail shot, because I always talk about shooting the wides, the mediums, the telephotos, and the details. That's detailish. We'll pick it for now, but I'm not sure that that's something that I want to hammer home. This is a good action shot, the guy running. Which one do I like better? Well, that's good too, so we'll pick that. I do like this because he's giving the forearm shiver to the head. All right, waving the towel, not so much. Don't like the processing. It doesn't match the rest of the stuff that this person has done, so I don't like the sepia tone look. Behind the scenes, I like it, because I like behind the scenes stuff. Great behind the scenes, super good low angle here. It looks like they either laid on the ground or held the camera down there. This works as well. This definitely works, except for this guy's look. He's like, hey, look at me. I've got a girl holding a W sign on top of me. But whatever, it works. And then this is a nice and tight shot as well. So let's look at the red ones that we have and see how many we have for red. Oh, I have to get rid of the stars. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I could just look down here, Jared. It says 16. So do these basketball ones work? Well, no, this one doesn't work anymore. So now it's 15. This one works, but in the grand scheme of things, is this day in the life better as a portfolio by itself? Would I rather see this than the other images? Let's see, let's take a look. So that's all of them. I do really like this shot, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it works. I'm gonna leave this to the photographer to decide. I still don't like this shot that much, but it could work. It's not the worst in the world, and I think it works in the grand scheme of the story. Ooh, I can change order. No, I'm not gonna worry about the order at the moment, but I think this ended up being good. It started off really bad, and I really hope the photographer and all of you guys understand the difference between what this photographer was showing at the beginning and where it ended. It's almost like it's two different photographers, and I certainly hope that it's not two different photographers and that somebody took somebody else's images and shared them, because it is night and day between both of them. So this is how I would have whittled down the 50 images, and I'm gonna whittle it down. Right now it's at 15, so it may end up being 13 or 12 that I think would make a great portfolio based off of the second half of the images that we saw. That's what I have to say about that. That's whittling down. If you're looking to submit your images for whittling down, I will put up some stuff on Facebook in the future asking for them so that you can then submit your 50, 60, 70 images that you want to for me to help critique as well as whittle down to the best of the best with honors, sir. Don't forget, FroPack 1 is going to be off of sale shortly, going from $30 to $50, and FroPack 2 will be coming out in the next week or two after this video is posted. And yes, there will be a bundled deal if you want to get 1 and 2 at the same exact time. Please leave some comments down below with letting me know what you think about this video, and that is where I'm gonna leave it. Jared, Polin, FroKnowsPhoto, forgot the point.com. See ya.